Today on Behind the Brand, we're sitting down with someone who knows a thing or two about longevity, Jake New, co-owner of Legacy Upfitters. For more than 20 years, Jake and his brother Nick, along with their buddy Kurt, have been building a business together, growing it from its early days into a trusted name in central Minnesota. What started as a popular franchise operation eventually evolved into something entirely their own. Legacy Upfitters, a move that required vision, confidence, and a willingness to rethink what the future could look like. We're going to sit down and talk about the origin story, what it's really like running a business with family, how their company has grown over the years, and what it took to step away from a well-known franchise brand and into a rebrand rooted in legacy. We'll also dig into Jake's perspective on rebranding after decades in business and his advice for owners who feel stuck between honoring the past and embracing what's next. Welcome to Behind the Brand, the podcast for small business owners, solopreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to start strong, stand out, and stay bold. Each week, we'll take you behind the scenes to explore what it takes to build a memorable brand and grow a successful business. Are you ready to get behind the brand? Let's dive in. Hello, Moxieverse. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Brand. Taylor here, and today I am joined by everybody's favorite Moxie, Mr. Mo.
How's it going, Mo?
Good.
And that voice is our guest this week, Jake New, 1/3, right?
Correct.
Third of the owners at Legacy Upfitters in Waite Park, located right behind Fleet Farm.
Right behind Fleet Farm, you know it. It's a lot eeasier explaining directions to that spot than our old spot, that's for sure.
Yeah, good. Wonderful. Well, Jake, thank you for sitting down with us today. I know I had to pull your legs a little bit, but I think it's going to be great. Like I said, Jake is the owner of Legacy Upfitters in Waite Park, and we had the pleasure of working with Jake, Nick, and Kurt, the owners of Legacy, and Beth too. I got to throw her in there.
Oh, yeah.
Over the last, well, we're still working with you, but let's just say the last 18 months to help. Really, the big part was with your rebrand.
It was a big step.
Yes. So, yeah, we helped with your rebrand to Legacy Upfitters because before that, you were part of the Linex franchise for
Close to 25 years, 23 years technically.
Yeah, and you approached us in 2024 that you were looking to make some changes, and with that became a huge rebrand.
That's about it. Yeah, our contract, it goes into intervals of like 5 to 10 years. And our contract was up, but this was kind of our time to kind of go more independent. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we reached out to you guys with the whole rebranding, knew that was coming up, but that was a big step we didn't really want to take on our own.
Yeah.
So you guys have been a huge help with that.
Oh, well, thank you. It was definitely our pleasure. I know for me, this is probably the biggest rebrand that I've had the joy of working on to date. So there was just a lot of things that needed to...
Anybody that like deals with my brother and I, it can be a little challenging to say the least, but no.
I wasn't referring to that yet.
I think overall it went very well.
Yes, no, it was great. But yeah, so obviously breaking free from the franchise, but also, your business in the last 20 years has grown so much. What started out as maybe bedliners has now grown to everything. So tell us a little bit about the lay of the land of Legacy Upfitters, the start, and then to where you are now.
You got it. So basically, we opened up back in 2000, and that was strictly just spray-on bedliners. And kind of as we started doing that, we realized that we could coat other things such as trailers, enclosed trailers, boat trailers, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of really all started when I got my first truck back in 2010. We kind of wanted to expand beyond bedliners. And when I got that truck, I had to go to 5 different companies to accessorize it, to upgrade it and make it, personal. Now, our main goal was to add on slowly but surely, like Nerf bars, tunnel covers, that type of thing. And then before you know it, we're starting to add on goosenecks, fifth wheels, toppers, leveling kits, wheels and tires. And now today we offer window tint, paint protection film, undercoating, more of a one-stop shop. And that was ultimately our goal.
Yeah. And is that something that's common in your industry, or do you feel like you're doing things differently?
I think when we first started out, not as common.
Sure.
But a lot of times it's not that easy because you're in your location and you only have so much room to work with. And that's kind of where at our old location back on 25th Avenue, where we were for about 20 years before moving into our new one, we were very limited. And to be honest, I don't even know how we ended up doing what we did in that shop. But as we started adding on undercoating, getting more lifts, window tint, and paint protection film, we definitely needed more room. And that's kind of like what made us start looking. Our lease was coming up at that old location. And then all of a sudden, this kind of fell into our lap, and here we are today.
Yeah, and you have a gorgeous property, like
Thank you.
And I mean, it is made 10 times better by that beautiful new brand. But it just looks so sharp. I do remember like the first couple days that the sign came up every day. I was like, I gotta drive by it. Like I go past it kind of on my way into work and just made myself turn on the road and go around the roundabout.
I drive by it every day. Yeah.
It's already been 3 years, and it seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to, the words Legacy Upfitters still flowing from the mouth, but I think we're kind of getting over that hump now, so that's nice.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, so it's you, Jake, your brother Nick, and then your friend Kurt that owned the business. Was it always that way, the three of you?
So it was first started out with my brother and my dad, and they opened that up in 2000. Well, of course, I didn't graduate high school until 2003. Then I went to college, got my business management degree here at the St. Cloud Technical College. And once that happened, Nick and I basically took it over from there. Just because we wanted to kind of go in a different direction rather than just bedliners to make it more of a one-stop shop. And that's when we kind of dug our heels in and, hey, we got to take this to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it got started. And that's when I purchased my truck, where I'm like, okay, this is not fun taking 3 days off work, going to 5 different spots to get that accessory this place, that accessory that place. Now it's just simple, buy your new truck, come to us for everything, more of a one-stop shop.
Yeah. What has and we talk to a lot of people that have business with family or friends, and what is that like for you?
Challenging. Yeah. No, for the most part. So everybody asks this all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my brother and I, we get along very well. The only way that I think that it works is we're polar opposites.
And
I'm pretty sure you've seen
you
that
get
during this
along
whole
well,
process.
but I will say, like, I literally just said this to the team. I was like, I don't know if I've ever met brothers who are more different. Like, and
do you like A or B? He likes A, I like B.
Yeah,
that's just how
that's
it is. But we both have our strengths and weaknesses, and we understand that. So anytime something comes up, I know that's more up his alley. There you go. Same and vice versa with myself.
Yeah. Even though you guys are very different, there was a lot of times where I watched the two of you work together to come to a compromise, and I thought that was really cool. You know, you were kind of the brother that I talked to more, and so from my position that I'm sitting in, it was like, well, you could have been I'm top dog, for lack of a better term, but it never felt like that, right? Like if there was, okay, Nick liked this look and you liked this look, you could come together to be like, well, okay, this is what I like from A. Okay, well, this is what Nick likes from B. So how can we merge them together? There was just a lot of compromise, and I thought that was really cool. So kudos to you guys.
When
for
we're really stuck in that aspect, it's all right, Kurt, come on in.
Yeah.
You're the third. You're the third vote here. And now that we added Bethany to our team too, she throws in a lot of insight and what people are kind of looking for. So that helps out as well.
And she knows you guys very, very well, so she can also kind of mitigate some of
and that was kind of nice too, because we've known her from back in the day when she worked at other businesses, and we worked with her at that time, and so we always kept the lines of communication open. And then as we began to grow, we know we needed more of a sales associate, sales manager. And with her knowledge with toppers and accessories from her past, it was just a perfect fit. So glad to have her on our team as well.
Yeah, you have a great team. So now, if we can, we don't have to talk about it too much, but switching from a franchise that has certain set things, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, to now we can do whatever the hell we want.
Right.
What has that been like for you guys?
Well, for one, it's been great in a sense where we can control the pricing to the public now. We don't need to stick with, okay, we got to raise this price. We got to raise everything 20%. We are completely independent. Gives us that flexibility to work more one-on-one with the customer and get them exactly what they want. We're not limited to certain accessories or brands. We can get all brands. We're not forced to sell anything. So if a customer walks in today looking for something that we normally don't sell, but we can get it, easy as that. So it's a lot more customizable for the customer now.
Yeah, which is really nice. I mean, in your line of work, that's what people are trying to do, right? They're trying to customize their vehicle.
Make it different, not so cookie cutter where you buy a truck off the lot and it's already got XYZ, so does everybody else. This is a way to differentiate that.
Yeah, I love that. Was there ever moments in the transition process, and not just the branding portion, all of it, that you were like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing this?
Yes and no. It's something where we know the positives outweigh the negatives, So we were just looking to get to that point, but we knew there was going to be hurdles, especially once the rebranding process started. So basically, branding a company for 25 years and making the switch and kind of re-educating the whole public, I knew that was going to be our biggest hurdle. But honestly, we're only about, 4 or 5 months into the rebrand with the new name, new logo,
Yeah, right. It
new
was
look.
August.
And I mean, it feels like it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
And the public and the city and the community has been so receptive to it and just basically applauding us, congratulating us. About time, you guys are independent now, and that feels good. So we didn't know how much radio, how much advertising we're going to have to do to get us over that hump. But overall, it's been better than expected.
Yeah, yeah. Central Minnesota loves a locally owned
Yes.
and operated type of situation.
They do.
And it was obviously locally owned, but just cutting ties from
Now
that.
it's independent, yeah.
I think that really does mean a lot to people here, and they want to show up for those companies. And so, now that you're just really solidifying yourself as
It's almost like they want to support you more.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah, which is awesome. Has there been anything that has maybe surprised you during the transition period?
Not really.
No. Maybe that people have been so receptive to it?
That, and I think we always expect the worst. So being prepared for that has helped. So there isn't
We or
any major
you?
surprises.
Because
Both. There really hasn't been any major surprises.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been hurdles, there's been bumps in the road making this switch, but for the most part, it's been good. We've known this could be a possibility for a few years now, so we were kind of prepping ourselves and getting our ducks in a row, so when the time came, we were kind of prepared for it. As far as signage and everything else goes, we had that dialed in for 12 months, a previous year, before we actually made the switch, just knowing it was a possibility. I didn't want to all of a sudden make the switch and not be prepared, and you're putting a tarp over your existing sign. That's what we wanted to avoid.
one thing that another thing that I'll give you kudos on, I guess, is you reached out to us so early. You knew, okay, August 2025 was kind of our deadline of when this needed to be done. And I think we met July of 2024, right?
You're correct.
Because it was right after our chamber event, right?
Yep.
Because that's how you found us.
We're already stressed with everything else, so the further you can get ahead of the game, the
but
better.
You would be just so shocked how often we have people reach out to us, and not necessarily for a rebrand, but just they're starting a new business and they need branding in general. And they call us November 1st and they're opening December 1st. And it's you need all of this stuff in a month? That's just actually not possible, no matter who you're talking to, how good they are.
Right.
Because how long did it take us just to settle on your brand?
The look or even the name, when we were brainstorming a name, it's what do you go with?
Yeah.
What is right? And I mean, Legacy Upfitters is something that we didn't come up with until I think the very end.
Yeah.
I think we got 3 different names. We're okay, we'll go with that one, go with this one. And then all of a sudden we were just kind of sitting at the shop and Legacy Upfitters came about, just kind of flowed. So really happy. And then the next stage, the logo and everything else, it's just, where does it end?
Yeah,
it just kept going.
We were consistently working with each other for a year to get everything in line. Branding, website, working with some of your vendors. It's a lot, especially when you're rebranding. It's a lot of work. So just kudos for you guys understanding this is the most important part.
Right.
And it's going to take a long time.
100%.
And we need to be proactive about it. Because I think the end result was just so much better because we knew, okay, we don't have to rush.
Right.
The one thing that's on our side is time. So we'll be okay.
And we still went all the way to the deadline. We're we got plenty of time.
Well-
And then before you know it, it's here.
Well, we got to the deadline and things are being printed and you're like, what is this color?
Well, it's just a lot of small little details,
Yeah.
that you don't think of. And as you're kind of changing not only the name, the logo, the building signs, but then it's what about pens? What about business
Yeah,
cards?
I mean,
what
let's
about
be
this?
real.
And
You guys, the amount of things in this community, in your building, that have or had your old franchise logo, name, likeness on it was extensive.
Right.
I mean,
Everywhere you
how many
looked.
billboards do you have around town? There was a lot of stuff that needed to be changed over. Sometimes you're not going to think about it or know about it until the 11th hour, and you're like, oh, yeah, this. I remember being in your shop, and you're like, oh shoot, the photos on the
Right.
inside,
Yes.
where they're like, oh, some of this has the old name on it. So like those had to get switched out.
Well,
And
and
it
how
was
many-
like the week of,
And how many times I think I got everything dialed in and everything off the checklist, and then a customer reminds me of something.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this? And it's like, oh shoot, no, that's not going to be easy switch, but
Yeah.
it completely blew over my head. You
Yeah.
know, so it's a lot of stuff that you don't think of, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah. All your digital stuff like that.
We can finally breathe a little bit.
So Mo, you got to work pretty extensively on the rebrand. What was the process like for you?
The process is awesome. I mean, it's the type of client that I, really like working on their stuff.
You drive a truck,
yeah, I
so
drive
it's
a
like right up
truck.
your alley.
I'm a truck guy. It was awesome. We like coming up with names and helping businesses do that, and then doing all this stuff all the way through a brand new business. It is a rebrand because you had an existing business, but it was very much like what we went through at Moxie. It was, from my side, it was awesome. Cool truck logos, and trying to match something that fit with your guys' personalities and what you wanted.
And that's one thing I should say too with you guys, working with you guys and Mo, I'm very picky. And I'm sure you guys have understood that. So on certain projects, we're going back and forth via email. And it's like, you know what? This would be a lot easier in person. You guys were so open. It's like, come on down, sit down next to us at the computer, and then basically, hey, change that. What does it look like if we do that? And you can't do that going back and forth over the phone or on email. So that was one awesome thing working with you guys. Come on in, sit down, and let's get this ironed out.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. We love doing that. The more feedback and direction we can have from clients, the better. Like the outcome is just going to be 10 times better. That's always so fun. One thing that I think is so funny about where we ended up on this brand. I love it. I love the colors and everything, the way that that turned out. But I think, in the beginning it was like, we want to, because your old look was yellow, like bright yellow and like solid black. And so it was like, well, we need another bright color. So we were playing with blues and maybe like some brighter greens. And I don't know, did we do red? I don't know if we ever did red. But I know it was like that blue was like.
The bright blue.
Yeah. We was like, well, that's where we want to go. And in one meeting, Nick was like, well, I like an olive
Let's
drab.
see how this looks.
And we
Yeah.
were like, okay. And so then we tried it. And then it was like, well, that's it. Like,
And it's nice when everybody is on the same
Yeah.
page or agrees, hey, I could roll with that.
but I
Okay,
don't think
perfect.
that's what you ever thought it was going to be. And that's like,
Not at the beginning,
yeah,
but it grew on me real quick.
And that's so fun. Like, that's the best part of the branding process. Like, there's two types of clients that we get. One client that comes in and they're like, I know what I want. Know what I want. They think they know and they don't. But anyway, but they like have a pretty good idea of like, these are the colors, these are whatever I like. And then you get someone where they're like, nope, I have no idea. And I think you were kind of more like, we want that brighter look and we want to stick with that. And then
this is where Nick and I differ
yeah,
a little bit.
and then it was just really fun to see how like the branding process played out, because I don't think you would have ever thought this is a color right
my
away.
goal is like the brighter the better. I mean, this is a new brand. I want everybody to see it. It's just I want to get that attention.
Yeah.
Nick's like, no, I want to be camouflage. The graphic on the decal, I want it literally camouflage. I'm like, what is the point to even have it on there?
Yeah, he's like, if my truck could just be black with like matte black vinyl on it, that'd be the best.
You got to take a magnifying glass to see it, but that's where we differ. But I completely agree with the whole green. I jumped on board. I had to get over that big bright color, and no, I'm happy that we went with it for sure.
That's just the fun in the process. Like, you don't know what you don't like until you see it. And
Right.
that was, same thing with you having to come in and sit with us. Like, you had thoughts and you didn't know, like, will this look good or not
Right.
until I see it. And so
Absolutely.
that's always fun. Do you feel like we talked about, obviously, like the public is like rallying behind you, but have you had a lot of like good feedback on the brand? And
I mean,
people-
honestly, I would say it's been 99% positive
Yeah.
feedback. There really
who's that 1%? I'll go fight them.
The 1% is just thinking that there is one product out there and that's what we used to carry.
Sure.
So that's kind of the biggest hurdle on when they call. Well, what do you mean you're not spraying that anymore? Well, what are you spraying? So it's just kind of re-educating.
Yeah.
And once you kind of explain it to the customer, oh, okay, so it's still the same owners, still the same people,
Yeah.
installing the products and spraying the products. Absolutely. It's not something that we just handed off and now it's something completely different.
Right.
I mean, the looks is very identical. You still get a lifetime warranty with that protective coating, with our Legacy protective coating. So once you kind of educate them a little bit, it's just fine.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. Like, the name of your business was the product that you were spraying. So yeah, that's
Right.
little bit of a hurdle to jump over, but
So now it just kind of flows. We call it the legacy liner
Yeah.
now, so it flows in
yeah,
that
it
aspect.
works. It
Yep.
works. That was walked into a good name there. So now, how long is it? 25 years? Are we
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
25 years November.
Okay.
This last November.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I bet that feels like wild.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But it's great to see where we started and where we are today. It's great to see kind of where we started and wanting to get to a certain point. And there's been so many times where you're like, are we ever going to get there? And then once you knock off that block, then you knock off that block, we're like, okay, we're getting closer. And then finally, once you kind of get to that spot where you're in the new building that you can fit all the divisions that you kind of wanted and added into, rather than just bed liners, but the whole spectrum of accessories now and protective coatings now that we have to offer, it just feels really good.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of take it to that next level.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. What are you most excited about for the next 25 years?
Oh boy, watching our team grow, because I feel like right now, for the first time in 25 years, we got our core team.
Yeah.
And now that we've added on a few more, I think we're kind of where we want to be in that aspect. And now we can really thrive rather than change out that employee, or that employee leaves, bring on another one, add that division. Now we need a couple more employees, because you got to remember when we first started, it was literally Nick and I.
Yeah.
And then Kurt jumped on board. And then it was just a couple at our old location. But since the move 3 years ago, I think we were at 5 employees. Now we're at 13 employees with 4 runners. So technically about 17 employees from where we were just a short few years ago.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to that biggest hurdle, that probably is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Getting the right employees in place to, have your business run smoothly is not the easiest thing to do, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Finding one is one thing, finding another 12 is another thing,
Yeah.
so.
Especially when you're trying to find, also like technicians that can kind of have a high turnover
Right,
rate. And so
right.
that's tough. What are some things that you do as a business owner, you feel like, to keep your team happy and wanting to stay?
For the most part, pay them well. Not saying that we are giving them the world, however, but in our industry, I feel like we do pay them fairly well and kind of give them their own leash on how to do things. Don't micromanage. Don't be hovering, looking over their shoulder. And that's the biggest thing, is when you got a good employee, you have to treat them like gold. Otherwise, they're going to find somewhere else, go, where they're treated better or paid better. But it's not only the pay, it's just the environment that we're trying to create, the new culture that we're trying to create here at Legacy Upfitters is just, it's more casual. It's family. We don't look at you as a number or just a normal employee. You have issues outside of work, we're here for you. We'll listen to you. You need a couple days off, go take a couple days off. We're very flexible when it comes to that, and I hope our employees appreciate that too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I actually just started supervisor development training, so I can tell all these Moxies what to do. Just kidding. But yesterday I was in one, and it was about hiring retention. And, a lot of the conversation was like, it's not the money. People never
Right.
really leave because of the money.
Yep.
It's because of all of the other things. And so I just like to hear you say that, like, those are
Right.
the things that, we care about. And you're not just a number, you are a person, and we can understand that and appreciate that, right? Because it's the people that make your business go around.
100%.
It's not just you and Nick and Kurt and Beth. Like, it's all of the other people
It's
that
the
are
team
there
put
too.
together.
Right.
And that's what we always stress. It's like, just because you're working over in bays 1 through 3 doesn't mean you can't help out bays 4 through 7.
Yeah.
Just be a helping hand, and you're caught up on your work. Go to the other bays, ask them what you can do to help out. And I think that's where our team really strives on, and I absolutely love.
Yeah, that's awesome. Having a solid team makes the world of a difference. I think
The stress level goes down a little bit.
I just think everybody listening can relate to being on a team that is not functioning at the highest level. And that's not to say like there won't ever be problems, right? But, the sooner those things can be addressed, and, just the better people that you have in place for certain positions, like, it makes the world of a difference.
Right.
I don't think Moxie would be the moxie that it is without the team that we had. And,
Yeah.
you know.
And you'll see that at other companies too. If you notice the correct team's not in place, I mean, they're either going to go like this. When you have the right team, I mean, they're just thriving.
Yeah.
You know, and you notice that just talking to individuals at different companies too. And
Yeah.
you just feed off that.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Now is the end already.
Oh boy.
I know.
That wasn't too bad.
No,
Good.
no, it's great.
This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's
It's
not
going
too
really
bad.
good, yeah.
No, it's fun. It's just a good conversation, and you know what we're talking about your business, which is like
Right.
the thing that you're, you know, one of the things you're most passionate about. So how could it be bad? You know?
I guess.
Yeah. So at the end of every episode, we like to do a few rapid fire questions just to tie all of our little guest interviews together. So I'll hit you when you're ready. What is your go-to business tip for others thinking about starting a business?
Have a plan in place, have goals. I think that would be the biggest thing is have goals. If you don't have goals, you're staying idle. You're not going to grow if you don't have goals. You know, you have to have something to look forward to, strive for. Otherwise, you're not going to stay motivated. I think that's the biggest key right there. If we didn't have this ultimate goal to where we are today, I'm guessing we'd still be at the old shop.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we wouldn't be offering undercoating or window tinting or paint protection film. We'd just be kind of crossing our fingers. Hopefully things work out, but you can't stay idle. You got to have goals and go for them.
And then what's one piece of advice you've received that's made a difference?
Well, for the most part, treat everybody with respect. That goes without saying, whether it's in business or in general life. I think the biggest thing would be to keep the lines of communication open. Regardless of who it is, whether it's in business or personal life, you never know 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where they're going to be working. Where are you going to be working? You might be working at the same company. You might be doing business with that company or that individual. Just because you didn't see eye to eye 15 years ago doesn't mean they can't be your biggest client 20 years down the road. So you always want to leave things on a good note, regardless if it was a bad experience or not, just because you never know when you're going to be doing business with them in the future, and it could be your biggest client.
Yeah. Have you had that happen?
A couple of times, yeah. Where, I mean, it's a little rocky start 15 years later, but it's like, you know what? It just didn't go as planned before. But now it's like, hey, we're great friends now, and you're sending us more business than any of our biggest accounts. So, yeah, it does pay off.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. You are a big communication guy. And I love that. You know, I have some clients that are like, don't talk to me. And other clients that are like, where are we at? And I'm like, I need to send you the email before you send me the email.
Right.
But thank you, Jake. This was great.
This is awesome.
Always enjoy talking with you. You are such a pleasure. I'm so happy that our paths have crossed and that I got to know you and Nick and Kurt and Bethany more throughout this experience. Thank you for trusting our team
It's
to
been
do
a
something.
very painless process dealing with
good.
you guys. So thank you for everything, Moxie
Good.
Creative. And one other thing I should just mention out there to your viewers, kind of when we first started, it was males and men only.
Yeah.
Right now, our customers are almost split 50-50. So if you're a female out there and you drive a truck, or even if it's a car, van, SUV,
Yeah.
we got something for you.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate. Don't think it's just for guys. It's for everybody.
Yes, yeah.
I have to say, I think the green does that for you. I think it's like a very nice, kind of high-end looking.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What's like the coolest thing that you could put on a brand new truck? What's like the one change you would recommend for somebody?
As far as like looks wise, wheels and tires, that really always sets something off. A specific topper. I know not everybody's a topper guy, or, you know, they call it the grandpa look, but a topper can really set it off. But
You got some new toppers coming down the line
yes,
that are.
there is.
I showed my husband and I was like, look at this. He's like, whoa.
The Apex is coming
Yeah.
out from the Rebrand, so we're really excited to add that on.
Yeah.
We're waiting for our demo one to come, but then we can kind of see it in person, but really excited about that. But as far as like looks wise, I mean, there's 10,000 products out there. To minimize it to just one or cut it down to just one is very difficult.
What's the first thing that you do when you get a new truck?
Cover.
Cover.
Get a cover on it, because if you have a truck, you're typically carrying cargo in the back end. So you need, whether it's a topper, soft roll up, hard roll up, tri-fold, we got all covers imaginable for you to protect your cargo.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful. Well, thank you again. This was such a pleasure. All right. We will see you guys next week on Behind the Brand.
thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Brand. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. If you didn't, share it with an enemy. And make sure to leave us a 5-star review. To stay connected, follow us at the links in the show notes below.